Hi, welcome back to Beer on the Run. I'm your host, Jack Rosenfeld. There's no new interviews this week or next. Just doing a quick holiday check-in. First off, I am currently drinking a Old Schoolhouse Brewery from Winthrop, Washington. It's a New England style hazy. It's called the Betty Mopper. Has some great can art, roller derby themed. Here's the beer. Cheers. Thanks for joining today. I know the holiday season is tough for many people, and this year's no different. I think it will affect more people this year than normal. Just sometimes it's a feeling of isolation, the darkness of the weather, the time of year. But please make sure to check in on your friends. And if you have no one to check in on or no one to check in on you, please reach out to me. You can find me on Twitter at JMRosenfeld. If you tweet me, I'll be happy to respond. Make sure you're doing okay. You guys have helped me get through this year, especially the last 18 weeks of this year. This channel has been great for me to reconnect with some friends, meet some new people, and I hope you've all enjoyed the content I've put out on this channel. In the new year, I'll have more interviews. I have a few more challenges I kind of want to do. And then I also have a new co-host, Clint Welch from episode 8, has agreed to join in on the fun and do some interviews here, and I hope you enjoy his storytelling and his interview style as much as I do. And as tough as this year's been, I'm cautiously optimistic for next year. There's many positive signs of things turning around, especially with the distribution of the vaccine. The second half next year, I'm particularly looking forward to. 2020 has been tough. It's okay to reflect on it, but it's also really helpful to think about how we're going to make 2021 better for ourselves and for everyone around us. I appreciate you all joining me for these conversations, for this channel. I hope you've enjoyed them. I'm going to send you guys off with a little snippet from my interview with Luis Escobar, where he, as the natural podcaster, turned the tables and started interviewing me for a few minutes. But first, I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas if you celebrate, Happy Festivus for the rest of us, and have a great new year, and we'll see you in the new year. Thank you for joining today. Cheers. I do want to close things out with a 4-pack of questions for you about beer, because this technically is still a beer podcast.
Well, wait a minute, Jack. Before you even do that, tell me about your podcast. What are you doing here? Why are you doing this?
Why am I doing this? COVID's hit us all pretty hard in many different ways. I lost pretty much all my income this year, halfway through this year, and it's been tough to try to find ways back into the workforce. In the meantime, I wanted to reconnect with people. A lot of people I've been talking to here are my friends that I know, but there's also people I'm forcing me to be out of my comfort zone to network, which as an introvert, being one in front of the camera talking to people, but two, reaching out to people I don't know is very uncomfortable, but I need to do that. So the original idea of the podcast was more so about craft beer than running, but I love running more, and I love running with beer. As Pat Sweeney's episode was great for that. But right now I'm using this to connect with people in this weird time to help me get through. I hope other people get through as well. And then, once we get through this, we'll see where this goes. Whether it's more running, whether it's more beer, whether it's travel, whatever it is. But in the meantime, I get to reconnect with great people.
Well, let me ask you a couple questions, Jack. What do you do? What is your profession? What would you normally be doing if we were not in this COVID situation?
Yeah, I typically help small companies grow, run operations and project management for small businesses typically.
And are you in Seattle or you're in Oregon?
We're in Seattle. Yeah, we moved to Seattle almost 5 years ago.
5 years, shit. So when we met, you were in Los Angeles, I believe, Southern California. Yep. So what inspired the move 5 years ago to go to Seattle?
Yeah, my now wife, Kara, she's from up here originally. She's from Gig Harbor, which is about an hour outside of Seattle. And she's always wanted to come back to Seattle or the Washington area in general. And 5 years ago, things were just kind of working out right in my life to make a change and move up here. So she was able to work from home from her previous career. So for her, like, she kept her job. For me, it was like the right breaking point. I owned a bakery at the time in Cleveland, Ohio, with my brother-in-law, and he actually passed away right as we were moving. The bakery we closed up a year before that because he was ill with cancer. So it was kind of like the right time for us to kind of make a life move where Kara still had her income and I would find work up here. So yeah, it's been fun. It's way different than Los Angeles. It's I don't get to the trails as much as I wish I could. That's more so a personal choice. I've been trying not to drive as much as I used to. But also in Los Angeles, it's so weird because when you think Los Angeles versus Seattle, in Los Angeles, the trails are so close to where you live. Here, it's a little bit more of a drive. I love the trails here better, but they're a further away to get to.
So this thing, you say that you're an introvert, and then now you're conducting podcast interviews. So that seems like a contradiction. How are you pulling that off?
Yeah, so my natural state is introvert, but I am able to, whether through my career or whatever, I've always been able to step up and exert a certain amount of energy in being extroverted at times. Like I actually do like talking in front of groups. I don't have stage fright. I love talking in front of a large group. It's so draining on me energy wise that I can only do it for so long.
So are you getting uncomfortable right now because I'm asking you a lot of questions?
Oh, not at all. Like this is
let me ask you a question about Seattle or Washington. I've been up there for some projects in the past, and I was up there about a year and a half ago, and I was in a place called Monroe, Washington. So it's outside of Seattle. It's east. Jack, I'm from here. I'm from California, Central Coast. I get up in the morning, gonna go get a coffee, and there's like a drive-through coffee kiosk right there in the parking lot at the hotel. Dude, I drive in, there's a stripper in there. It's like 5:45 a.m. There's a stripper in the coffee place.
I figured this is where you're going with this conversation.
Jack, we don't have that here in Southern California. So, I mean, not just a girl like kind of dressed like sexy, a stripper in the coffee place. Jack, what is going on with that?
We in the state of Washington are known for what is known as bikini baristas, although I'm sure it didn't appear to be a bikini.
It was not a bikini.
We have both known for we're known for coffee, and there's drive-through coffees everywhere. The problem is if you're just randomly a tourist, you can so easily, probably a 50-50 chance that if you go to a drive-through coffee shop, it will be a quote unquote bikini barista. So not family friendly for a 50-50 shot. I've heard many friends tell horror stories that they're with their parents or they're with their nieces and nephews and they went to the wrong drive-through just because, a lot of these places are just very nondescript.
That's right.
Welcome to Washington.
Well, after I'm with some guys because we're there conducting this race and honestly, we had no idea. And then, there's this girl and she's giving us coffee and she is a stripper. And then you start noticing, oh yeah, this place is like pink and there's like pictures of girls wearing cut off jeans or something. Like, what in the hell is going on here? I'd never seen that before, Jack. It's just crazy. I can't believe you guys have that up there.
Don't even have me get started onto some of the health code and how it's written to actually allow this. It technically in the health code, because I used to be in the food industry up here. That's where my previous business professional experience was. In the health codes written that as long as no body hair is exposed. I'm not even joking. That's how the health code is written over here.
Okay, well, that answers a lot of things.
Yeah.
All right, hit me with those 4 questions, Jack.
Yeah, let's get.